opinions, and you don't want to.
All right, starting the stream to YouTube.
But I'm prepared for this one. I'm fully confident.
All right. So. Great. Let's get started. And
I'll just kick off some clients.
Okay, so YouTube is up if anyone wants to share that. And I'm going to connect the chat, and we'll be starting. So anyone who might be joining us, just thank you for joining us. And as Amy pretends to share the episode, we'll just ask that you guys do it for real.
Share YouTube.
And then, as always, we love to have your comments underneath the video on the Facebook page or the YouTube page. So we'll be starting very shortly.
We love the comments. They make the show fun.
Like when people comment on them.
Yeah.
Internet's
Okay, guys, I'm going to start the commercial if you're good. I don't know why I said that so timidly, but that's what I mean.
It's very... You're no Mark Wayne MacArthur, McMullen, whatever.
Mark Wayne Mullen.
Guys,
Mullet.
Is it okay if I...
Wayne.
One word.
That's fighting words. Support for Wrong About Everything comes from Minnesota's credit unions. Credit unions are locally based, member-owned financial cooperatives that return earnings to members through higher savings rates, lower loan rates, and reduced fees. Visit mncun.org for more information. We are back with another episode of Wrong About Everything. I am former Republican Senate Majority Leader Amy Koch.
I'm Leslie Rosedal of Rosedal Public Affairs in St. Paul.
I am Rochelle Westland, HHS enthusiast.
And I am Davis Sensman, small business attorney.
And we are
Wrong About Everything.
My. No Kens in the house.
No Kens.
So we get to talk freely. We have charcuterie and wine. It's the greatest podcast we've ever done.
Already.
Well, we did do Karen Morantz and I and Sam Sansevier did 2 episodes of Only Women when it was the Me Too movement, and we called it Right About Everything. So it's another episode of Right About Everything. But we have a new face at the table and a new voice on the microphone. Leslie Rosedal.
Yeah, hey. Thank you, guys, and thank you for having me. I'm Leslie Rosedal, like Amy said. I live in St. Paul. I do public affairs, so it's kind of like lobbying, but except I don't have to register and I don't have to go down to the Capitol. I do communications for clients and advocacy, that AstroTurf business issue campaign. So full disclosure, I'm on the Republican side. So actually, this is the table, the Republican side of the table with Amy. And I guess I'm filling in for Brian today.
Yeah.
And Javier doesn't know I'm here because I would probably trigger Javier with what I'm going to say. I can't believe it.
We told him. Leslie's filling in. I told him.
I'm looking forward to today, and thanks for having me, you guys. This is a treat for me. I get to help clients on the comm stuff on the other side of the table. So now I get to say what I want.
So you and I go way back because Leslie was working for the GOP and came and led the GOP effort in my special election in 2005.
You guys, yay, thank you. You guys, we were pups. That was 20
you
20 years
were
ago.
on, you were still Leslie Wilcox?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I remember it. And I was a baby. What business did I have running for Senate?
No, you had every business to run. I mean, I wish more people, don't say that.
We had a primary because somebody ran against me in the primary, because it wasn't about, like, the Republican was going to win, but we had a Republican endorsement that I won, and then I had a primary challenger by a well-known county commissioner. And he really outspent me, big time. But we had the people.
But he was too emotional as a man.
Leslie Wilcox.
Well, thanks. I mean, I remember that. That was a long time ago. 20. Yeah. And you know what?
Let's see, 2005, 18 years ago.
Yeah. And I'm first of all, thank you for running because that brings me to my point. Like, I still am excited to support women candidates running. I'll talk about that later with our efforts to support conservative women running for office. And you always know what you're doing, Amy. I mean, it's just, you don't ever apologize for not knowing. So we're here.
Well, I appreciate it. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
There's no Amy without Leslie.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Thank you, guys. I'll try to.
Weird down
I'm not as funny as Brian McCann.
See how nice we are?
It's getting weird down there.
Listen.
I'll try to keep up.
You want to stand your butt up?
I'm
Is that what
ready.
he's saying? Rochelle's ready. She was talking some smack on text already. I was like, all right, let's
I know.
go.
Rochelle was?
I
All right.
said every
Stand
time
up.
I disagree with Amy, I'm just going to be like,
Do you wanna
fight,
go right
fight
now?
Right
Yeah.
now. We are two consenting adults.
Rochelle,
Amy,
that's what the
in,
Republicans do.
oh,
we
sorry.
don't start
I
the
don't think that
fights.
union thug was a Republican.
No, he wasn't.
No.
But see, he stayed in his seat. He was like, I'm going to make you stand up because you're the elected official.
It was weird. We'll get to it. It got crazy. Rochelle, do you want to remind folks who you are?
My name is Rochelle Westland. I also live in St. Paul. I think us St.
Not
Paulies
me.
are holding
I'm
down
sorry.
the fort today, almost all of us. And I work for the Minnesota Association of Community Health Centers. So we represent primary care clinics and behavioral health, dental health, and primary care for the safety net. So we can't turn people away regardless of their ability to pay, and make sure that we make sure that people are met with good health care in underserved areas, both in rural Minnesota and here in the Twin Cities.
Nice. And so we also have in the studio in NBC, the Credit Union Network studio, deep in the, I don't know, what are we saying? The heart of NBC Studios. With us also, a special guest, Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
My
She's
dog,
here.
who is hated by most of the British Isles. Not her fault.
She was very polite right now when she
She's
came to
being
ask me to pet her.
So it's all except for Gabe. We have no Kens in the house, and I want to talk about Gabe. Gabe, our producer. No, only because I want to give it because we're being so kind here. Gabe is just so fantastic, and he runs. So he's got a whole business. If folks listening are thinking about, I hear actually from a lot of people that are like, I'm thinking about doing a podcast. What do I got to do? What you should do is just call Gabe. Gabe will take care of you. Let us know. We'll give you Gabe's number, and he sets up the studio. He makes you sound and look good. Leslie was mentioning the lighting.
This lighting is amazing.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there
So
you go.
get on there. If you're listening to this on a podcast, you should listen to this on YouTube or Facebook or see it, watch it. We look good. Am I right? We look really good.
Do look good.
The lighting is good. Amy, I just noticed, did you bring in candles for this as well?
No, Gabe said
No, those are Gabe's.
Gabe, that's
Yeah,
so
he's big on ambiance.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love it.
Also, you can check us out on our website. Thank you, Dustin, Greggy, and Honey Hive Digital for our beautiful website, Wrong About Everything -podcast. Or let us know when you see our billboards. We're so grateful to Blue Ox Media for those Wrong About Everything billboards that we can't get enough of. And finally, I don't know what Javier and Brian are up to, but if it's no good and things happen, they might want to contact Bradshaw and Brian.
Yeah, that's true.
It's true. We don't know what those boys are up to. Because Bradshaw Bryant, their entire team of attorneys and staff, are dedicated to providing the legal advice you need, combined with the service and personal attention you deserve. If you have questions about how they can assist you with a personal injury, a wrongful death, or criminal defense matter, do not hesitate to contact them. Consultations are free. Contact them at 1-800-770-7008 or just go to minnesotapersonalinjury.com. And no snitches.
Yeah, no.
Bryant is not interested.
No, he's
if
not.
You're a snitch. He made that clear. He said we were talking about snitches. He's like, yeah, I don't represent snitches.
Yeah, we
Like,
said,
oh,
well,
well,
what would you advise your clients if they were flipping like this? And he said, well, I do not represent snitches. So.
Oh, well, okay. So, all right. So, lots to cover today, and so excited. I think it's a great energy we have in here, but there's a place where the energy has not been great this week.
Very bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's been worsening, right? And it just seems like everybody's very tense. Everybody needs to chill out.
Especially the men.
Maybe have a bottle of wine. Especially the men. So there has been, can't believe I'm saying this, multiple fights. At the
Physical
US,
fights.
Physical fights.
at the U.S. Capitol this week.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah. It's bad.
My favorite tweet, and I don't know if Gabe's going to have up the video, but the favorite tweet came out of where it says, the Mojo Dojo Congress House, lawmakers get their fight on. Amazing.
The Kens are running crazy on the hill.
It's Fight Club. And they're not even supposed to talk about it, but they are. So let's first of all start with, I think the first fight was earlier in the week. And I saw it first from an NPR reporter that said, this actually just happened. She was interviewing Congressman Burkett. Is that how we say it?
Yeah.
And she was there talking to him when former Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, came up and bumped into him. And then he like lunged towards her. Burkett did.
Yeah,
I think just like because he was off balance, and then took off in a chase.
That's right.
After the speaker, former speaker.
Former speaker.
Now, what came out after and is being denied by the former speaker, Burkett said he received an elbow to the kidney.
A clean shot to the
shot to the kidney.
kidneys.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's amazing if it's true.
You know, you do need sharp elbows, but
Yeah, that is.
guys, I mean, we know it's ridiculous. He denied it. We know Republicans don't do anything wrong.
right.
You guys, let's just move on. An elbow, a sharp elbow, that's nothing. We're from Minnesota. That's nothing.
He was so mad.
It's not a tickle competition.
I liked when he talked to the CNN reporter who was just like face agog, like saying like, well, was he looking at you when you talked to him? And he was like, no, he wasn't, because you know Kevin. He's in his little Southern accent. He's a coward. He wouldn't even look at me.
Kevin.
So Burkett was one of those that voted to get to oust Kevin McCarthy. And also he was very vocal. You may remember Davis talked about that Kevin McCarthy went after him as, because Kevin went after him as his religion.
Yeah, because Burkett said he was going to pray about it. And I think Kevin McCarthy was sick. I'm sure sick of making these calls. It was basically like, who knows what he said? Because at that time, Burkett was like, I'm not going to say. Now he'll probably tell us. But he insulted him in some way. And Burkett said, he insulted my faith. And I was like, this man is doing bad PR. No one was advising him. He was on the phone. And so Burkett voted against him. And then, and now they're enemies.
Now they're enemies. And Burkett is from Georgia? Where's he from? Where's the little southern bug from?
He is. Hold on.
Do you guys want me to play the videos?
Yeah, that'd be
okay.
great.
Yeah, I've got them all.
Is it audio or video?
I got video and I got it all.
Beautiful.
So, yeah,
all right. So, folks, here's the first dust up.
Burkett's Tennessee.
The eight Republicans who voted to oust him. Congressman Tim Burchett of Tennessee, claiming he now was sucker punched in the back by Kevin McCarthy. We also have audio of just this entire incident, so you can hear for yourself what happened.
I think it went all right. Sorry, Kevin. Didn't mean to elbow. Why'd you elbow me in the back, Kevin? Hey, Kevin, you got any guts? Jerk. You got so they sat there and the reporter said it right there. What kind of chicken move is that? You're pathetic, man. You are so pathetic.
Wow.
And then when he said you need security, he was telling the next reporter he talked to, he was like, well, there was like 700 pounds of security between me and him. I was like, shit, he was ready to fight too.
Oh, man. Tensions were high. And it continued throughout the week. Whew. Next up, we had, is it Representative, a Kentucky congressman?
No, I'm not going to give you your time.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
No, Senator.
Yes,
Senator Mullen.
You look like a Smurf here, just going around and all this stuff. Now listen,
Mr. Chairman, hold on. If we're not on time,
disinformation.
You have gone on TV and said the president did something illegal. You're doing stuff with your brother. The American people have the same question. Why should they believe you? Why should they believe you?
This is the super. I don't want to interrupt the super productive conversation.
They're getting a lot done.
To be fair, that guy is liar Smurf. So I don't know.
He said to him, you look like a Smurf.
We don't know that's what you're doing.
But does he? I don't really understand that insult.
No.
Is he blue?
Oh, because he's in blue.
Oh,
that was
actually,
cheap.
this is super apt. Actually,
Is it a compliment? I don't think it's an insult. I mean,
and then this guy went on Twitter last night, which these men are they're too sensitive for Twitter. But that guy went on Twitter last night and said, "Boy, Gargamel was mad."
Okay, dang it, that's good. But he does look like a Smurf. In his defense.
it's a good looking Smurf. I mean, he's not bad.
Could you imagine if the women of the House or Senate acted like this? It would just be like, oh, we've got to take them off of
They
their
better
committees.
resign. They have to go home.
Yeah,
to their
they'd have to resign.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bobert or whatever would never do that kind of stuff.
Okay.
No.
They fight in the bathroom, Gabe. They fight in the bathroom, not on the floor, okay?
Ken, shut up. We're not talking to you. All right.
We'll get to the favorite.
Right.
Get to the favorite one.
This is my
big
favorite.
one.
Now, I'm
This is the
just
best
gonna need
one.
a little moment because this
Yes.
one. I mean, I got a little.
Amy, he's so small. He's just like a little pocket-sized guy. That's why he gets this mad.
So here's what happened in this one. Senator Mark Wayne Mullen from Oklahoma.
Right.
There was apparently, Leslie, there was an earlier fight. Can you set it up a little bit? Because I just
There is diversity in the U.S. Senate. This guy is a martial arts, like a mixed martial arts professional.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, they're not just hedge fund attorneys. I mean, they are mixed martial arts professionals in the U.S. Senate. Mark Wayne Mullen. Do we show the clip?
Well, okay. I want to kind of set up. Hold on, Dave. So there was a fight previously where?
Yes. Between I don't know all the details, but there was they've previously fought in a
professional setting.
Professional maybe too much.
Wait, they fought an MMA fight.
There was some sort of organized operation.
That's coming.
Okay,
there's an organized operation. So maybe it's a fundraiser. I mean, that's in good jest.
But they
and good
have
spirit.
bad blood.
Yes, I don't think they like each other.
And then what happened is the Steamster, I can't remember his name, he tweeted a very mean tweet that showed Senator Mark Wayne Mullen in a debate. And yes, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen was standing on a box. And he pointed out that he says he's a self-made man, but he totally...
It's a big box.
He totally shit-talked him on this box. And circled in pink the box. Yeah. So then he has to go in front of the committee with mixed martial artist, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, and I'm saying this.
We can be too consent.
Yeah, go, Gabe.
Go for it.
Go. I just got to prepare myself.
Perfect.
That's him.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do
There
it
he
right
is.
Well, stand your butt up then.
now. You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Stand your butt up. Yeah, he stands his butt up.
That's the mixed martial arts guy.
And who's saving the day? Bernie Sanders.
God bless him.
Hold it. If we can, no, I have the mic. I'm sorry.
This is
Hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't. This is a hearing. And God knows the American people have enough of contempt for Congress. Let's not
I don't like
make it worse.
thugs and bullies.
And
that's
you
what-
have
I don't like you, because you
Hold
just
it.
described yourself.
Hold it.
Then let's do this, because I did challenge you, and I accepted your challenge,
Yeah.
Bernie's like,
and you went quiet.
No, I didn't go quiet.
You
challenged me to a cage match, acting like a 12-year-old schoolyard bully.
Excuse me. Hold it.
Schoolyard
No,
bully.
I will say exactly.
Senator Mullen, I have the mic. You have questions on any economic issues, anything that said, go for it. We're not here to talk about physical abuse.
You brought.
We're not
him
talking
in.
about, of course I
And,
did.
and let me show you his hearing, because I want to expose this thug.
Yeah.
To who
Oh,
he is. And
You don't point to me. That's disrespectful.
I don't care about respecting you at all. I
I don't
respect people that
respect
I
you at all.
respect.
Yeah, don't
Sorry, hold
respect
on.
him.
Let me.
This is adults.
Jesus.
You're one of the most
Hold
elite
it,
people.
please. All right? This is excuse me. This is a hearing to discuss.
Bernie should hit him right in the head with that.
issues.
Like,
All right?
Amazing.
Questions for Mr. O'Brien or anybody else on
Mr.
what
O'Brien. That's
he
the.
has said, go for it.
I mean-
But we're not here to talk about fights.
Because you called me out. I didn't call you out.
Yeah, you did.
You said anytime, any place.
That's
what you said.
Let's get the record
Okay.
straight.
Just hold it. No.
Hold on.
Oh, boy.
Send them
All
all
right.
God.
That's good.
I think if he can't take
gets less
mean
hot towards the
tweets, then maybe he should not be in the Senate.
Can we just talk about how embarrassing this is?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
This is the U.S. Congress. Guys.
Yeah. No, it's the Senate.
And it's not
supposed
even
to
the House. I mean, it's a Senate.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's the upper body.
I mean, I'd expect it from
Yes.
both bodies. But
Yeah.
It's,
Well, it's all men.
yeah.
Yes.
Sadly, it's.
I mean, and Bernie
It's all
is the voice
Republican.
of reason.
And Bernie's trying to.
This video has everything.
Bernie's like,
Bernie's
for
in the-
God's sake, like, I was just waiting for him to just pop him with that, like, little baby gavel. Like,
Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's great. It makes great TV, and everybody's talking about it. But boy,
I mean, if the tensions are high right now, I mean, it's not even election year.
no.
You know,
Right.
it's.
no. And now the big news is, or the big news that besides all these videos is, the House actually came to an agreement to extend the budget deadline for part of the budget until January, and they passed it, and then part of the budget until February, which should allow them to get through budget discussions and negotiations. We'll see, and get a budget. So that should have been
Should have been the
big
news.
Right.
but it's not.
But Jordan made a comment about how they've been working for 10 weeks and that's why tempers are high. If you don't think you're going to have to work another 10 weeks after this to get the budget done. I mean, this is your jobs. Could you imagine if somebody who worked at McDonald's or worked at, Subway was like, I'm sorry, I can't come to work right now because tensions are high or I can't work more than 10 weeks. Like, you guys are elected to do a very specific job. And the fact that this is what is happening right now is just, it's so maddening to me.
It's just
sorry. This is my Javier moment.
Yeah, it really is outrageous. Well, and it's also like when I watched it, I was like, see that Teamster? He's not getting up first. Know why? Because once they have this fist fight, he's not the one going to jail. Because the person who gets up first is going to jail. Because that's what you learn when you grow up in a union house. Don't start nothing, but finish it.
Good Lord.
Watching him sit there, I was like, that's right. You're going to make, he's going to stand up first. There you go. There's the intent.
Now you're fine. Now throw hands.
Go for it.
Now throw hands.
Self-defense.
Yeah. Oh, how embarrassing.
But a little bit hot, right? No?
That guy's really short.
Okay. He is kind of short.
Yeah.
All right.
And like if you said something to him, like just jokingly, he'd be like, what do you mean?
Mark Wayne Mullen.
They should get off Twitter if they can't handle Twitter.
Well, I think almost all elected officials should have their Twitter revoked. Yeah. It's too hard.
It's just.
We joked a little bit about Governor Walz' tweet last week, and we don't know what's happening.
Which are still getting weird. They're still weird.
They're still weird. We don't know what's going on. But you know what? I don't think it's him doing the tweet. No. And I would say that's probably
that's better. Yeah.
That's better. I don't think politicians should, having been there and known that, best thing I did was when I turned off Twitter.
Yeah.
And turned it off and shut it down for a while.
Yeah.
It's too much. And there's too many trolls on there that could just be mean and too many people that are trying to spark things with you. And it doesn't matter. It's not the real world.
I like that Mark Wayne Mullen had them printed out. Like that Teamster was going to be like, no, I didn't say that. He was like,
he's so proud of that tweet.
Yeah, they are.
Look at you. Look at you with your little box.
You're very small. That's why.
It's such a cell phone when you blow up the picture.
Blow up the picture. Look at me.
Look at how diminutive I am behind this.
I'm just a pocket man. I can't even reach that. Poor Bernie Sanders. That's all I have to say. Bernie's like, we are supposed to be doing work.
Good Lord. I don't know. But in the end, they did get not a budget deal. I can't say that. They kicked the can.
Continuing resolution.
Actually, I'm kind of annoyed about that too. Right? We don't get a budget deal. We're gonna continue the resolution at existing levels. No money for Israel or Ukraine.
Nope.
Right? There was no agreement on any of that.
Nope.
So Israel continues to, go on without our support there, and will certainly. Till January at the earliest, right? This is basically everybody's kind of folding up shop for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
That's the other thing. I feel like they get really testy when they have to work 6 days in a row. Like, sorry, you didn't get to go home.
Right.
Sorry, give me a break. We pay your salaries.
Right.
Go to work and stop fighting with each other.
That's all we ask. All we ask is less fisticuffs, more work.
Stop saying dumb insults to each other and just get to work.
Clean shot to the kidneys.
Clean shot to the kidneys.
I've been watching a lot of West Wing this week, and I feel like I'm in need of that kind of space.
Some decorum.
Some decorum. Yeah.
Do you know
respect?
I've never really watched The West Wing, which have you even?
Well, Rochelle made a good point that because of all of this.
So you have watched.
I like West Wing in the sense that it shows an optimistic view of the good things government does, because it does.
Yeah.
But it is not realistic.
No, there's too much good and work going on.
Exactly. 100%. And there's planning involved.
Yeah, people
all
are
of us
like,
know behind the scenes.
true.
There's no plan. There's no plan.
I know. I always see it's interesting. People are like, well, what do you think? Do you think they have a plan to go into 2024 and they're going to do this and then they're going to switch out the candidate? I was like,
no.
Oh, absolutely.
No, nobody's
not.
thinking about anything.
There's no plan for that.
The
They're going
Democrats
day by
have
day.
a sophisticated plan.
Yeah,
they've been working on for years.
Yeah,
The
no.
Republicans are so smart. They've been nobody's
Just a
doing
bunch of,
anything.
look at these idiots. Look at them.
Yeah.
But I do like.
Anytime I hear it, I laugh.
I liked when Rochelle made a point that you all in St. Paul have learned your lesson that men are too emotional to rule, and now you will have all women, and then Melvin, watch your back.
Well, I think we could all agree that that's happening right here, can't we?
Yeah, it's true.
It's so lovely. As long as Gabe keeps his pie hole shut. Oh, no. He's fine.
He should be using a voice changer to have a female voice of God coming in from time to time.
Oh. All right, let's switch to Minnesota news. And let's talk about Minneapolis City Council. Doggone it. I want to have a week where that's not in the news.
Well, but this if you're talking about the latest vote they did, that had a little bit of a shakeup because the people voting yes and no were a little bit different.
Yeah, so you want to talk about, you want to set it up a little bit? So this was a vote on cop incentives, right? Incentives for
the mayor presented the budget a while ago, and then now somehow, the articles never tell you, but it's like, oh, we have this new idea. We're going to give these cops like $18,000 more as an incentive to come and work here. And
because they're having a tough time.
They're having a tough time, but they've had incentives out there. And like the real incentive is come to Minneapolis. You can make $400,000 a year by working overtime. Like it's not really. But so he went to them and said, hey, I came up with this deal with the police union and asked it was a committee. They're so weird the way they like vote on things in committee, then they vote in the committee of the whole, and then
which is really the whole city council. Anyway.
Everybody's on the committee. It's like what the and so they voted in the committee and
in the committee of the whole or the committee?
To the committee of whatever this was. Yep. I would say public safety, but who knows? And it got voted down. And Emily Koski, who is Ward, what is she? 9? 10? She's one of the ones south, one of the southwestish.
Who's considered kind of a moderate.
Yeah, often voted with the mayor, said no, I'm not gonna basically just like keep giving you an open checkbook to do these things without like some proof that it's gonna work or some. And it was just like, oh, okay. Like for anyone who pays close attention, and probably for her, the folks she represents, it was like, oh, okay.
Well, I think there's a couple things there, right? So, I mean, she represents also an area that's more affluent, right? Mm-hmm. That's safe to say, and very concerned, like everyone is, right, about what's been going on in Minneapolis. We talked about this, was it 2 weeks ago? The Minneapolis is like 64th out of 66 cities that, in a study recently about coming back.
Yeah,
from
the downtown.
From COVID, the downtown just has not come back, which should be, as I said, as Minneapolis goes, so goes the state. It's too big of an engine for us to just ignore. I get it. I'm from Buffalo. I'm from Wright County. It's so easy for us to say, it doesn't matter. We're in Maple Lake and Buffalo. We don't care. But the truth is, it drives the economy of the state. The Target Field is here. The U.S. Bank Stadium is here. Like big industry is here. And we all need it to have success.
Amy, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
And this is Leslie. I think you're wrong, though, that when you said everybody's concerned about it, because I think there are people that don't want cops in Minneapolis. Yeah. They're a small majority, and you'd think this had happened before the election, but this is Emily Koski just won re-election.
Yeah,
clearly, this proposal came in with agreement from the mayor and the police union. And full disclosure, I do some professional work with the police associations and the police union, so I'm not privy to anything on this this deal, issue. But I would have to say that the majority of the city council, the facts are the facts. They voted down continuing a proposal to give $18,000 in bonuses over a certain part of years to Minneapolis cops to stick around, and then $15,000 to new cops for incentives. Now, that is not an unusual amount. That is not an unheard of amount. That's an amount that the city and the police union both agreed would keep cops.
But it's not the whole city, it's the mayor. And her point was, they've had 6 months to speak to us, and here we are at the last minute. I will not be pushed to make rush decisions. He could have told them, hey, this is the problem with this mayor. He wants to make all the decisions on his own, and then he used to have enough votes to then just do whatever he wanted. And I think he's going to have to change the way he's working now that we've had an election where a lot of people, no matter where they fall on more cops, less cops, reforming cops, whatever, cops don't want to work here, no matter what. No matter how much you pay them, no matter how much, they don't want to work here. And it's because we have one whatchamacallit in place. They have a consent decree in place. Another one's coming. The people who want to be Minneapolis cops do not want to work under consent decrees. They do not. I mean, we can't even find someone who hasn't forwarded 15 times a very racist message to be a sergeant. They can't. They're like, she's the best option. So I can get it that Emily Koski's like, hey, I'm not going to just keep throwing money at this. Figure it out some other way.
I think there's more to be said than they're arguing about a procedure, and I don't know all the details about how that came down. But the point is they voted down keeping cops in their city once again, and it says to every cop and every person that lives in that city, the city council does not value having cops in your city.
And here's
I think they don't. But how do we know this was going to get cops? How do we know? Because we've done this before. We've been giving them more and more money, and they don't want to come
because
here.
It works. The mayor, the police union, everybody said this is what it's going to take.
But the mayor has been the mayor throughout this entire exodus. The police union has never come to the table looking for a real agreement. I mean, they still don't have a contract. What she's saying is, how do we know it works? Show us how it's going to work. But you can't keep pouring money on something, and it's our money. None of you live in Minneapolis. It's my money. And I live on a parkway. I pay huge amounts of taxes. If I thought it was going to work, I'd say, shit, go for it.
I don't know why
it's
the
not
city
going to
council
work.
person knows better than the police union and everybody that's working on this.
Because he didn't come. There may be
It's
proof,
just
but
odd
he
to me
didn't give it. He just came and said, I want this. And Emily said, show us the proof. And they don't have it. They don't have any proof.
I think it's a case of somebody not citing procedure and just not wanting police officers in their city.
It's not that she doesn't want police officers. She's never said that. You're saying Emily Koski is anti-police.
Which is shocked me.
Is that what you're saying?
She voted with every member that has voted against police in the past.
They haven't voted against police.
I will say, though.
Every person that voted
Emily
on
Koski,
that
I would love you to call in and respond to this person saying you are against police.
Against police contempt.
Okay, but here's also what I'll say.
Police contempt.
She voted against the mayor's idea.
Okay, but then where are the ideas from the city council?
They had the mayor's not including them in that's her point.
I get it, but but the point is then what is the city council doing? This is
They're saying no.
It's a stronger
They're saying
mayor
no,
system
we don't want
now.
police in
but
here.
here's my frustration with all of it, right? Obviously defund the police was kind of a ridiculous movement that a bunch of people popped on for political reasons. But we had someone in here from the defund the police movement, and I said, okay, so what happens when there is an assault or a rape going down?
But
what am I supposed to do?
That's in the past.
I get that, but it still extends to, okay, you don't like this.
But here was another thing. There is an entire section. The mayor he brought in a $300,000 his choice person to run this, and you know what that guy did? Hired PR people. Cedric Alexander went on Twitter and picked fights with people, hired a bunch of PR flacks who now work for the city. Good luck getting rid of them. Didn't do a goddamn thing about public safety in this city. And now he's gone. And you know why he got hired? Because Jacob fell in love with him in the middle of the hiring process. He wasn't even in the running. And now we have someone who has to come in and clean it up as the head. That man, I Googled that man's name the day Jacob hired him and said, hey, you know about all these things that have gone on before where he's had issues with this and this and this? Jacob screwed up when he tried to redo it. And now he's got someone, a very bright little law student, suing the city saying, hey, you're wasting that violence prevention money, and I can prove it. So there's a lot of problems when it comes to public safety in this city, and I don't think you can make it political if you want. You can say Emily Koski doesn't like the police. That's an untrue fact. But the problems with public safety in this city go back to Jacob. They don't go back to the city council.
I will just say they go back longer than that, right? I mean, that safety.
Cedric Alexander did nothing in the past year for public safety.
I don't blame Jacob Fry for every criminal activity in the city.
Do you blame him for hiring Cedric Alexander?
Well, he was responsible for that, yes. Do I? But wait a second. Is crime, every perpetrator...
Every crime is down in Minneapolis.
Okay. Is every criminal...
No,
criminal
I'm not
activity
saying
because
that.
of Jacob Fry? No,
are they because of the city council?
No. The criminals are responsible and accountable for their own activities.
Sure.
Now,
and if we had someone in charge of
hold on,
the city's trying to reduce crime, right? We all want to reduce crime.
I would hope so, but they hired a bunch of PR people. I don't know how PR flacks reduce crime.
I would say that the police are trying to reduce crime. A lot of people, these violence interrupters, are certainly think they're
These
trying to
violence
reduce
interrupters
crime.
are getting illegal contracts.
Yes, and but they also don't have to provide accountability. Maybe we share some agreement
Here's
there.
one thing I know why it's not political. There's not a Republican in charge of it.
Well, that's true. I think.
I mean, there's a lot of Republican lobbyists behind it. If we're going to be,
I get frustrated when people argue about process instead of the actual what we're arguing about. Do you know what I mean? Like that's not. We're arguing about police funding here. We're not arguing about the it's a vote about police funding, not a procedural thing. And arguing procedure is kind of a silly argument.
I'm glad she's protecting my money. We have given away so much money in the past year and seen no improvement except for the improvement that has happened across the country in terms of crime that's come down after the pandemic when financial situations have stabilized in some places. I'm glad that somebody's saying no more. No more. Show us the work. Show us the work.
In a way, not the Minneapolis Police Department is down to around 500 officers, and which is one of the lowest it's been in, I think, 20 years. Yep. That means less response time. That means longer response time, less responses. I don't think that's what everybody wants in the city. But essentially, these votes to not recruit folks, to hire officers is essentially defunding police.
Geez.
Isn't there a better way
you are defunding
to approach this than
There's probably a better way for Jacob to approach it to say, hey, can we work together?
I agree, but also isn't it a better way for Emily to go to him and say, listen,
if this is the first she heard about it, then no. And also, they're all politicians. You don't think she might be setting herself up to run against him? Because that's what I think is happening. And I think she's probably going to do a good job.
Then it's political.
Well,
it's all political.
Right.
It's
I'm
all
shocked
political.
that there's politics.
Right.
But I mean, then just admit it. Then the vote is political. It's not about.
I don't know that that's the case. I don't even
saying.
know
I
that
think
woman, but I know she's never voted against police, and I know she's not.
Which is surprising to me too. And that's why it was, I think, surprising to everybody how this vote went down.
And I think
it's disappointing, I think, to everybody.
I don't think to everybody. I think there's.
Right.
You guys all
There's
live in
a few
St.
people
Paul.
That want to get rid of police. You're right. There's a few people that say, screw the police, we want mayhem. There are.
I mean, I would love to have police that don't kill people and hurt people so that I have to pay out of my taxes. I would love for there not to be cops that get PTSD payouts because they can't handle their job. I would love for that. I would love to have good cops. I would love it.
And we
don't have them in Minneapolis.
There are plenty of good cops.
Well, I don't know why none of them are eligible to be a sergeant. Like, I don't know why we had to promote that woman who admitted to forwarding 18 times something that had gross racist stereotypes in it. Then I don't understand why that person has to be
I think there's
elevated.
a lot more to that person than an email that 8 years ago, but...
All right.
Anyway.
I would never hire that person to be a law clerk if I knew that they forwarded a racist email 18 times. I don't think they should be running and training our cops.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, Minneapolis. Okay. So actually, since we're moving along here, this has been great, though. Thank you. Let's go to plugs. How about that? And then if... just because I think we're running a little tight. I will just quickly, you can catch Brian and I on the BS podcast every Tuesday and across radio stations around the state. I will not berate you, but strongly urge anyone who doesn't want to get harangued next week with Javier to go to our Patreon account. It's patreon.com, Wrong About Everything podcast. As he always says, if you cannot afford it, this does not apply to you. But if you've been listening and you can afford it and you've been listening to us for, 7, 8 years now, and you don't go to Patreon, maybe you're kind of in...
No, say it. Say it. No. They're being a dick. They're being a dick.
Then we got a lot of not a dicks out there, and we're so appreciative of you. So many not a dicks. Okay. And
I have a plug.
Leslie, yeah, go.
Yeah, I'm the chair of Women Lead. It's a political action committee that supports conservative women candidates running for office. We've just kicked off our... Or turned 5. We turned 5 years old this past year. We raise a bunch of money to help candidates, state candidates for office, and then we also do some networking for conservative women. And if you're one of those conservative women that wants to get involved to support other conservative women for office with a few dollars, networking, you can go to our website, womenleadmn.org. It's WOMENLEADMN.org.
Yes.
Cool.
Yay. On
So
the board.
join us.
It's a great
Yeah, Amy and I are both on the board.
More women in the pool and more Republican women. Please, please,
Yes.
please.
Yeah.
Rochelle.
So I actually have two. So
Cute.
just as
I love all these twins.
today, this is National Apprenticeship Week, which is a way to help train people while they're getting paid for the work that they're doing and helps open jobs and opportunities for people. The association that I work for developed an apprenticeship program last year at the legislature for medical assistants and dental assistants, because we know that different paths into the workforce are very important, especially for in underserved communities. And then tomorrow is actually Rural Health Day. So as we're looking at what is going on in the world, things to celebrate and, post on Facebook. So happy Rural
HHS.
Yeah. It's,
So it's Rural Health Day?
Rural Health Day tomorrow.
Yeah, heck, who's a beneficiary of rural health? This one.
This one right here.
That's me.
You guys having a party? What do you do?
Dr. Orada from Maple Lake. That's why I have a really abnormally large smallpox shot, because he was still giving them when everyone else had stopped.
Oh, like the little
Listen,
circle?
he was making sure.
It's totally unnecessary. Many people do not have them, but not Dr. O.
You're not getting smallpox on his watch, are you?
That's right. He was still vaccinating for it. All right. Rural health. Yay. Davis, anything to plug?
No, I got nothing.
Davis.
Oh, that's funny.
All right. Rochelle is like a real life version of the Homer Simpson.
I know. Even
Backing
between
into the
these
bushes.
two, my God. I just want, if you don't like what's going on in Minneapolis, please feel free to move to St. Paul.
Hey, that's right. Javier likes to say that too. Like, come on over.
I mean, really.
All the women? All the
Yeah. It's
Let's do Spanks and Thanks. I'm super excited about this too. Who wants to start? Leslie, as the guest, do you want to start, or do you want to?
Oh, we
go
doing
second?
Spanks or thanks first?
You do it
pick.
all together. You get uninterrupted.
Okay, I'm ready.
time.
I've
All
been
right,
preparing
go.
for this, and when I listen to the podcast, I'm like, what would I say over the years? And now I get my chance.
This
So,
is it.
and nobody's vetted me for this, so this is kind of exciting that
No.
nobody knows what I'm going to say.
Now I'm
First of
scared.
all, I'll start with the thanks. Two easy ones. First, you guys, this past week was Veterans Day, so of course, thanks for our veterans for serving our country, protecting our freedoms. Amy Koch, veteran, all the others. Thank you. I'm impressed with your acts of service. And moving on to another thanks, you guys. Today it just came out, U.S. Senator Andrew Lugar, again, for the third time, doing Mary Murray's job and cracking down on crime in Hennepin County, putting away, or trying to put away more fentanyl criminals, gang leaders, etc., from ravaging the streets. And what Amy said, keeping people out of Minneapolis, people that want to go to work, want to have commerce, want to do fun things. Thank you, Andrew Lugar, for all your hard work to keep us safe. Those are my two thanks. Should I go to my Spanks?
Yeah, go.
You guys, and Javier's not here to defend this, but what?
You can't talk during your spanking.
You guys,
technically.
State borrows $454 million to upgrade the state office building. And now you might say, "Oh, what's no big deal." Like, let me just put this in perspective, okay? Like that's a lot of money. Like, so if you remember the palatial Senate office building, the Bach Mahal or whatever they call it, that was 70 million.
I thought it was 90.
90
Either
million.
way.
Excuse me.
Anyway,
90 million. Okay.
significantly
lot of
This is
million.
almost $500 million. This is like 5 times as much to renovate a building. This is not even to build a new one. This is renovation. 5 times as much as the Senate building. And the kicker, the legislator didn't even get to vote on it. They didn't
No,
vote.
they didn't. They had I don't even know. It was an amazing maneuver.
To think it should be called the Winkler Hall of Fame or
Winkler
whatever.
Winkle. That was
You guys, it's a lot of money. I mean, think of all the bonding, the wastewater treatment facilities, the roads that could be built for $500 million that we're going to get an office building. And this is a line, but the office building for politicians that work part-time, that serve admirably, but they do work part-time. And there's full-time staff that are there too, but that's $500,000. And I don't think there's anybody that could say, yes, we need to spend that much money. Do we need to upgrade the facility, the HVAC, the plumbing,
Yeah, for
the
sure.
electrical. Absolutely. Like nobody's against that, but this is a lot. I think I saw a meme, you guys. I don't know if you can find it. There's like a picture of a tweet where you could spend $500 million buying 2 of the skyscrapers in downtown Minneapolis for the same amount of money.
Well, they should move there.
They should, yes, 2 skyscrapers that fit like thousands of people. They're for sale. The same amount of money they're redoing the state office building. So it's absurd. I do think it could be an election issue. The government has spent a lot of money on things, some good, some maybe wasteful. This past session, I think that'll come out. We'll continue to talk about it a lot.
It is. I'm
finished now.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ro?
Well, as we were talking about moving to Kentucky because of how beautiful their Capitol grounds are, I don't know the dollar amount, but let me tell you, it was beautiful in Kentucky.
I don't think it was $500 million though.
Well, you don't know. It was a whole
And
bunch
the Capitol renovation was under 300.
Right.
The Capitol where they redid the marble and the paintings and the everything was under 300 million. So like this is more than that. This is all like twice as. Anyway,
cost of labor.
I
man.
interrupted.
It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice bathrooms.
Okay. All right.
Palatial.
I know. Moving away from public safety, as we know that is not my space. Today, my spank is that today there was a class action lawsuit that was filed against United Healthcare, claiming that they were using AI to wrongfully deny coverage to Medicare patients. So Medicare is Medicare's public programs, and so all of this is happening, potentially denying claims.
Yeah, this is not great.
And I quick looked it up. The profits that were reported as of September 30th from UHC, and now granted, I know UHC is a larger company nationwide, has Optum and everything underneath it, but was $151 billion. Billion dollars, and
Wow.
we are denying claims to Medicare patients through an AI model that they're alleging the defendants didn't know worked. And so I think that is tragic. I think that breaks my heart for our seniors and disabled people that are on Medicare. And I think that we can. I don't know what the answer is, but I definitely think that we can do better than what is happening in our systems right now. So that is my.
I don't trust AI to write a resume at this point. Like it always like gets something wrong.
Yeah,
trust it with
Jesus.
people's
Like,
healthcare. Cold man too. Like. Oof.
Yeah, it makes me real sad. I think we need. And I know that no one likes to talk about healthcare, but it really is such an important piece of what we are doing and who we serve, and it's such a large driver of our costs. Speaking of costs, for the budget, and so I think that we really need to start paying attention to these things. So just
and people's lives and livelihood, but and their lives.
And that is if you get delayed care or something because you are denied a treatment that could be life and death for you.
Oh yeah.
So.
Jeez. All right.
Do you have a thank?
My thank was actually going to be to the city of St. Paul because of our all-female city council.
Even better
coming
this week.
in. I know. I'm super excited. Yeah, very diverse coming in. I'm super excited and expecting great things. I live downtown. You guys, please, if you're listening, no more abandonment zone in downtown St. Paul. I would love to see it, thriving and all of that. St. Paul's
It's hard to get in
place.
your buildings sometimes because of all that construction. I assume it'll be good when
my building.
No, just downtown St. Paul buildings in general. I feel like every time I have to go there, I'm like, how do I get in this building?
I'll just keep St. Paul boring. We like to keep.
Yeah, well, it's working.
No one's there. I promise. It's just me and my dog walking on randomly down 10th.
Awesome.
All right. Nice.
All right. My
Davis?
spanks and thanks. My thank is someone who has to do with someone who's been a long-running spank and thank on this show.
Oh my.
Tommy Tuberville. Tommy Tuberville's reign of terror may be coming to an end. So the Senate Dems took a step. The Rules Committee, which I'm pretty sure Amy Klobuchar chairs, or at least is very important on, they advanced a resolution that's going to allow the military nominations for them to confirm them, not go one by one. And they need nine Republicans to do it. I think they have like about 4 or 5. But there are, those 4 or 5 Republicans are holding the floor, I think, tonight, basically to try to get him, they're trying to get him to stop before they have to take this extraordinary step. But Chuck Schumer said he will bring the resolution to the floor. So good work in the Senate, guys, trying to actually stop allowing one senator to bring our safety and military promotions to a halt over something that it's not going to work. This is not how organizing works. You don't just throw a fit and just grind everything to a halt. And my second thank, I got two thanks.
Aw.
My second thank, I don't know if you can't really see the whole tweet of it, and I don't have Twitter anymore. But Tina Smith.
Oh my God.
So Dean Phillips,
Poor
who
Dean
said he was
Phillips.
not
Friend
gonna
of the podcast.
he was not gonna attack the president, has started attacking the president and said like, oh, the Bidenomics hasn't worked. It has resulted in inflation, blah, blah, blah. And so Tina Smith, God bless her heart, the Velvet Hammer, popped this up, that said, here's President Biden's economic agenda, and here's all the things the times Dean Phillips voted for it. And the people of Twitter went wild and said, Tina Smith murdered Dean Phillips. So thank you, Tina Smith, for always. She has a savage tweet game.
She is.
Oh,
Mark
she does.
Wayne Mullen better never get in her
I
crosshairs.
think she's doing this. I think this is her doing it too.
She
Yeah, maybe an
she
exception to the rule of legislators shouldn't.
Right. If you're doing it, Tina, keep doing it.
There's a few of them that should.
Yeah.
Mike Freiberg. Pat Garofalo.
So yeah, those are my thanks.
That would be a good fundraiser.
Yeah, there should.
do
Yes. All right. So my spank this week goes out to Minnesota Federation of Teachers 59, who this week put out a statement, an Israel-Palestine resolution, where they begin sounding like, first of all, I'm not sure why they're weighing in on this. Why they waded into this. We've got lots of things that they could be doing, but including, getting test scores up and all those sort of things, working with parents. But they said they mourn the innocent loss of innocent life in Israel and occupied Palestine. Of course, we reject the violence against all civilians, whether Israeli or Palestinian. And then make a call for an immediate ceasefire. And then condemn the role our government plays in supporting the system of Israeli occupation and apartheid, and call on the Minnesota State Legislature to repeal anti-BDS. By the way, BDS is boycott, divest, sanctions legislation, as it stifles free speech. BDS is a movement that started in England, I believe. It has anti-Semitic roots, and there's a very good reason why a very large contingent of bipartisan Minnesota legislators put together an anti-BDS movement, that we will not be like working with a system that has anti-Semitic roots and is very, very problematic. And here's MFT calling it out. I would just say that thank you to a bipartisan contingent, and I never thought you'd see these two agree, but you've got Jeff Kolb on Twitter who said, there's literally no reason for a local teachers union to opine on international affairs. There are a million things wrong with Minneapolis public schools, and none of them are happening in the Middle East. They are in Minneapolis, where these teachers should focus. Thank you, Jeff Kolb. And then I'm going to go to, we just mentioned him earlier, Ryan Winkler, who in a rare moment agrees with Jeff Kolb. I'm going to go to his Twitter. And he says, blaming the existence of Israel as a Jewish state for the Hamas terrorist attacks is anti-Semitism, and anti-Semitism has no place in our schools. So spank to MFT, and I guess thank for the bipartisan. And then I thank this week, a huge thank for tremendous sacrifice to the family of Sergeant Cade Wolf from Mankato. Sadly, there was a Special Operations, U.S. Army Special Ops helicopter in the Eastern Mediterranean, was involved in an accident. We lost 5 of our bravest aviation special ops, including Mankato's Cade Wolf. He was the youngest on the helicopter, only 24. Flags were ordered at half staff, and I guess I'll quote Klobuchar saying, Senator Klobuchar saying, Sergeant Wolf represented the best of us. He answered the call of duty and put his life on the line to keep American people safe. We'll never forget his service and sacrifice. When something like this happens, I can't imagine the hurt. And I just want to say that a grateful nation can never, ever say enough. And I certainly can't say enough of thank yous. But thank you to Cade Wolf, and thank you to the family. And we're very, very, very sorry for your loss. And with that, I am former Republican Senate Majority Leader Amy Koch.
And I'm Leslie Rosedal, public affairs professional.
And I'm glad there was wine, Rochelle Weston.
And I'm small business attorney Davis Senseman.
And we are Wrong About Everything. Didn't even miss Javier and Brian, did you?
But did you know that?
Oh, making sure.